welcome to Songwoven, Eira, Bryn, Dawnbreak. Of course, I am your ever humble narrator, Tim Dontran, and I am joined by the ever-present, ever-lovely, ever-enduring two other people who will introduce themselves quickly, right at this moment, now!
Together
at the same time. Hi, I'm Jenny.
I'm Emma.
We didn't do it at the same time very good, I think.
We panicked.
And we're playing characters who you can see on the screen now for the first time.
We're going to war school.
War school, yay!
War school.
It's Jenny Emma.
Jenny Emma.
Jenema. It's
Gemma.
Emma Jenny.
Gemma.
Emma Jenny.
Gemma.
And I'm
Gemma
Tim.
is a name. You're Tim.
So, real quick, everyone, this is our new series starring the three of us, Eira, Dawnbreak, which you all know, if you see our stream title, you'll know that it's a Fire Emblem inspired TTRPG using the advanced 5th edition system. We will be playing this series up until a certain point, into which we will dismount and jump right back into the Lanaya expedition, which we left off at a good point on, right, guys? If this is your first,
Not traumatized at all.
if this is your if this is your first series, just know that Lanaya expedition ended very well, and no one was traumatized, and none of that wacky trauma stuff happens in any of these games. We keep it nice, things loosey-goosey here. Very nice, very loose.
They don't call him Trauma Timmy for nothing.
They don't call him TT.
His initials stand for trauma and more trauma.
Trauma. That's why they call these TTRPGs, because they're mine. But yeah, thank you so much for joining our new adventure with new characters, a new setting, same world, different time period, different place. This game takes place 10 years after Lanaya Expedition started. So we're going to see what happens in this little place in a little pocket of time. And we are so very excited to show it to you all. Is there anything else we have to share?
And you can follow along with my bingo card I made at like 2 a.m. a month ago
so
when I was
good.
thinking about this game.
It's so
some of them
good.
won't make sense to you because they're from prior games, because we have played in this setting a lot, Timmy and I. Emma has not played in this setting.
No
There are
idea.
very few people who have played in this setting. But I have played in it a lot. And so some of them are characters who may or may not ever come into the game, but they have been in this place before. And that's why they're on my bingo card. And some of them are things that will make sense. So I will probably forget to check it. So if you want to follow along, you're welcome to. Or if you want to make your own, like, oh my why seems to have, then please do. And let us know in the Discord or here if you get a bingo, if you make your own.
I really hope we become known as the stream that does bingo, the TTRPG stream with bingo. Like we'll put like Songwoven is streaming TTRPG and bingo.
There'd be like a super emotional moment, and Timmy's giving like an evil villain monologue, and then if it's like all tense, I'll be like, yes, bingo.
Yeah.
He threatened her with that, yeah.
And that's when you make it. That's when you make a saving throw. But yes,
all
bingo,
coming to
the
play,
first
guys.
tabletop game. We pay respects to the old here. But yes, as Jenny said, me and Jenny, this is something that this setting, much like Lanaya, but this one in particular holds a very special place in our heart. This is something that me, Jenny, but especially every single person that's ever played one of my games have all carved a piece of themselves into. Emma Ramasco unknowingly has done that before as well, playing in the Black Arts Gallery as Aura. Um, but
My baby.
But yeah, every choice, everything that any of my players have ever said, anything they have ever done, every quirky action, um every political assassination, everything that they have done has culminated into this shared space that we call Xandrelor, and I am super blessed to have the most talented people with me to make this. No, you to make this.
No, you.
To make this collaborative effort to make this world, and we are very excited to share some more with you guys. All right. With that said, is there anything else you have to say?
Y'all better know if you get bingo in the chat. Y'all gotta let us know if you get bingo. Is all I'm saying.
Or if I forget one of them to mark one of mine.
Or let Judy know to mark something.
Because I have a million tabs open right now with like lore documents and things.
Many a
And
doc
bingo.
open.
Okay. In that case, I'll begin. And ironically, since this is the pilot episode, this is one of our shorter beginnings, probably, because we didn't do any bits.
No bits.
No bits. Let me
No
show you guys this
resume
tattoo
to-
I got. I'm just kidding.
I swear to Christ.
Must go.
Kate is in the chat. Hi, Kate.
Hi, Kate. Kate made our art for
Kate's
this
our
game and
Yes.
all of our other ones.
Absolutely
We're
fantastic.
happy to see you, Kate.
Oh, always lovely.
And I
to
finally
see you.
remembered to give her the artist role on
I was
Yes.
gonna say, I
on
love
here,
that she
so
has
she's
a
got
little
that.
art icon. She's our artist.
Okay. Hey, everyone. Let's jump into the very first session of Eira, Bryn, Dawnbreak. The year is 1471 PR, or post-reckoning. As the tepid winds of the summer begin to scatter, the emerald green fields begin to flourish at full bloom across the kingdom of Anor. As the people of Anor celebrate the downturn of the year, the people pray that they may realize their full potential, just as a tiny sapling hopes to one day grow into a great, world-bearing tree. The holy kingdom of Anor, said to be blessed and ordained by the very gods of the Norse pantheon themselves, has existed for almost a millennium. Established 985 years ago, the kingdom of Anor was raised from the cinders of the desolation, the setting where a holy war took place between good and evil, a war between Anor's first king and the abhorrent, abominable Ash Tyrant. From the cinders rose a unitary monarchy, a kingdom split into 5 constituent regions, with each territory divided among the first king's brotherhood. Each region is lorded over by a supreme power known as the Lord Paramount, and all Lord Paramounts answer to one central power, the one who wears the crown. Onto what these territories are, what they entail, and what they contain, we will get into that in due time. For now, we set our sights somewhere else. But before we do that, I have a question for you. What shapes the immutable? What moves the world? What sparks the forge that is the will of man? The will that, when exerted, can shape all lives seen and unseen. What form does a human will take when the human will is bursting and full bearing? fire. Not to step on any toes on some other storytellers, but our story will begin, much like many other stories, with fire. Emma. Fire.
I'm
Go.
scared. I'm scared.
Fire raged in the air, choking all matters of space and cognizance around you. Above you, the petals of Lucia daisies mingled with the ashes and embers that stalked from above. They clung to each other, and as the daisy petals lost more of their luster, they lost their ability to fly in equal measure. The petals, whose birthright was to take up love with the wind and share their breath with it, were denied by the flame who raged about it. This was the first act of war you've ever witnessed. As around you the fire rages on, you recall seeing the people of your village, of your small town, waddling about, running about, screaming, their arms waving in the air as flames take them. As Anarian soldiers, the very people who were sworn to protect you take torches to your homes, to your bastions that you have built for generations upon generations. You were a young child, but this memory burns ever so brightly in your mind. You feel the smell of brimstone and sulfur choke up your lungs. The fleeting warmth of what you were sure to be a caring hand has left you. It has dropped you at some point inside of this very building where the fire rages about you. And of course, as the screams echo throughout your mind, you wait for it. This always happens in this reoccurring vision that you have. First is the appearance of this individual is heralded by the small whips and cracks of fire. A man drags himself through the barn door that you're situated in. Even though he is on fire, he does not scream, but instead his eyes lock onto yours. His eyes, that despite his flesh growing around it, growing cindered and burnt, they maintain their verdant green colors. He reaches a hand out towards you and walks towards you. You, in a bundle, cannot move. You cannot scream. If you scream, the last time this happened, the last 5-6 times this happened in this recurring vision, when you scream, your lungs fill with soot. You choke. He walks towards you, arms outstretched, fingers pointed directly at you, as if to take grasp.
Yeah, I missed this.
Just a baby.
I'm just a baby.
Just a little baby.
You Suddenly, consciousness takes you. You find yourself onto your feet as you cough. As you cough, trying to get any semblance of imaginary suit out of your throat. Your feet, your feet quickly flee towards outside of your door. As you opening a door, going to another room where instincts lead you to a bucket full of water. Splash. The imaginary heat that was inside of that vision, it all felt so real. You feel it, the pinpricks of your skin, the inside of your lungs. Even though it's just a vision, even though it's just a dream, it all still feels so real. And as you rub your face with the cooling water that snaps you back to reality, that centers you in this world, your eyes perk up. Your heartbeat slows to a normal as you see your reflection in the mirror. Lucia, can you describe what you see in the mirror?
I love this intro so much. You see a small, pale, young human woman gazing back at her. Much like those JRPGs we love so much. She has a sweet, open, wide face with porcelain clear skin. Short, curly, wavy, pink hair that curls and bounces as she walks, occasionally held back by a bandana, and bright turquoise, inquisitive eyes that blink back. She almost looks kind of doll-like in her petite little stature. A face and a disposition that one would never suspect houses and hides all these dark visions and thoughts. And you see she tries to give herself a little smile to perk herself up in the mirror.
As you exert your will with a smile, as the lips crest up, and you realize that you are once again in this wonderful world that you live in this wonderful kingdom that saved you from all of that. You hear in the distance the clattering of something, of some kind of ceramic ware falling. And you hear, oh dear.
Oh no! I think she'll kind of like give her cheeks a little quick pat, just to, like get ready for the day. And she'll peek over in the other room. Did you drop something?
As your head peeks out into the kitchen, you see before you the man you address. Currently hunched over a small mess that he's currently organizing with that ginger care that you know him for. You see an older man with sort of his hair used to be much more vibrant and brighter in color, but now it's dull to more of a grayed out sort of color. He wears a robe decorated with the many insignias of the gods of the Norse pantheon. A scale, a hammer, a raven. You see Arnalda Lusardi. And he just goes, "Oh, did I wake you, Petal? Sorry about that."
He calls her Petal. I'm gonna cry. She goes, Oh, I was up anyway. Here, let me fix that for you. And she's gonna go over and, start to clean it up and pick up because he's older. He shouldn't have to lean over. So she's gonna start cleaning it, picking up.
Oh, Petal, you don't have to pick up after me.
Oh, come on. It's good for me to stretch my legs. Besides, it's a beautiful day outside.
That it is. That it is. He picks, as you help him pick everything up, and the two of you stand up. The two of you share this reassuring nod, like, yeah, we did something. He was always a strange, objectively speaking, a strange man. A man who, before you came into his life, had lived by his lonesome for many, many years. When you were plucked from that battlefield, the word was he saw you, and his heart had melted. He picks up the small tray of the small assortment of like water-bearing pots and such, and places it to the side on a table. You live in this humble cottage on a verdant green field inside of the secure district of the capital city of Anor, known as Tokor. He just goes, I was just getting everything ready for our prayers this morning. Are you all right, dear?
Of course. I was thinking. As she's like kind of like trying to piece the little broken pieces together of the bowl on the table. Sometimes the gods give us challenges and oh no. Are you sick?
Oh, go on, Petal. I'm sorry.
No. Come on. Come sit down. And she's going to completely stop her chattering and lead him to a chair and gently cast, hold on. What am I going to cure wounds? And she'll gently, warm her hands together, give a little blow into them as she places them gently on the side of his throat to heal his little cough.
As the soothing energy enervates from your hands and onto him, he makes a point to smile kindly. And he goes, Thank you, Petal.
Of course. After all, how can we praise the gods if you're hacking up a lung the whole time? She gives you a wink.
He pauses for just a moment, but he looks up to you with those kind of droopy but still bright eyes of his. They have grown a bit darker over the years. And you do know that his strength has waned, especially over the previous year.
No, I'm gonna keep him alive.
He'll never die.
He will never die.
He just goes,
No, foreshadow.
He just goes, well, since you've gotten me all pepped up again, and since we've gotten almost everything gathered for the open air, why don't we go ahead and head out?
It's my favorite kind of prayer. As she grabs a little picnic basket, that has, like a fresh loaf of bread wrapped in it, a nice chunk of cheese, they're pulling together this cute little parcel of goods that they use. Very simple, but to them, to her, it's her favorite time of the year.
He stands, too, and normally you would always volunteer to carry the basket yourself, and he would always chuckle mirthfully and let you have it. In this case, as you carry the basket with your usual assortment, you see he walks over to another basket. You have baskets like stacked like next to the doorway, and he reaches over and grabs another one that's currently covered in some sort of cloth.
Oh, I can hold that one for you. Don't worry about it.
Oh, please. This one's for me. Consider it a surprise.
Oh, I do love surprises.
I know, Petal. I know. All right.
Well, just yesterday, I found a blueberry that was red. What better surprise can you get than that?
A red
You just
berry.
can't. Yeah.
A very
yeah,
first of
and-
its kind.
Yeah, or it might have been a strawberry, but I wasn't sure. Either way, I thought it was a really cool surprise.
No. You certainly would have known it was a strawberry.
I would have known exactly. That's right. So it was. The gods must have blessed me and sent me a sign.
She's an idiot, guys.
Track records, from what I've seen, Lucia is me.
She's warning you guys all in advance. She is toxically positive.
By the 9, a red berry. I always
know.
knew you were capable of miracles.
I just thank Odin's wisdom for that I was able to even notice it in the first place.
Oh, thank the Allfather.
Thank the Allfather.
Thank you, Mr. Wednesday.
Thanks, Mr. Wednesday.
Going to war school is gonna be great, guys.
Going to war school is gonna be so much
I
fun.
can't
everyone.
wait to kill people.
He shifts, walking in half steps over to the front door, and he just takes it open. The sweet air of jam on the inside. Arnaldo was always one to make jams out of figs and different fruits and take you to go pick stuff with him and pass the jams out to people within the neighborhood. The smell of the sweetness, the sugar on the inside of fermenting berries and such quickly leaves the house as the cool spring air of the outside flows in. You make your way out through the cobblestone streets of the Secret District.
Good morning.
Morning! Says,
Praise the Allfather.
praise the Allfather. Let's go. You walk through the cobblestone.
Morning, Belle.
Where are you off to? The church?
I just read a wonderful story about a beanstalk.
This is the opening to a musical. Good
This is
morning.
literally the opening to the
Good
Look,
morning.
there she goes. That girl is so religious.
and then you cut to the war school.
Here we mean business. You begin to make tracks throughout the Secret District, a district within the capital city, dedicated to the many dwells of the Asatru Ministry. The Asatru Ministry, of course, being the big religion, the big religious organization that compares in power to the crown, that ordains the nobles throughout the entirety of the region. The very reason why everything in the Nor is the way it is. They understand the gods' blessings more than anyone. They study it their whole lives. They are dedicated to it. And that is why they are the powers that be. In this entire neighborhood dwells little houses of people that are dedicated to the Norse the Norse religion. Normally, dwells are an assortment of different families, or it could be one house, it could be two houses, three. But yours has the unusual distinction of being one man, a Gothi or godman, the leader of a dwell, and one follower. You are a small but humble and very moving unit. Dwell Lusardi. Trekking through the tight, compact cobblestone streets of the secret district, you of course wave hi to the many to the many neighbors that you share this a place of living with for many years. But your destination is to the pledging fields. The verdant green fields located on the other side of the city, dedicated to the open air prayers of that anybody can go onto. A very picturesque, beautiful landscape, just a field in which the wind feels at its fullest. You enter into the grand city that is Tokor. A far cry from the humble little neighborhood that you're in. Tall stone buildings, but still the same statues of the gods that you're dedicated to are around. The All-Father, the one-eyed man, two ravens on his shoulder, holding a spear. You see Thor with his rotund belly kind of hanging out, but unmistakable Mjolnir by his side. As you begin to blend in within more of the general population, of the people who aren't as dedicated, but are still thankful nonetheless. You stop by a typical location called Sorcerer's Sourdough.
Oh my god.
Where a family friend, a purple tiefling named Avexia, always has a loaf of bread to give away. And as you come by, there she is, waiting already as a sweet air of her bakery is leaving the door. She just goes, "Good morning to both of you."
Blessed day, Vexia. What do you have today that's super special? I can't help feeling that it's going to be a really important day.
A super special day. Well, I got you a freshly baked sourdough loaf, as she just presents the same thing that she's given you.
Oh my goodness! This one is so special. I've never seen anything like it before. Thank you so much, Vexia.
Well, this one's super special because I was thinking about the both of you when I was making it.
Oh.
You weren't thinking
what
about
a
us
blessed
before.
gift.
Here you go.
It completely goes over her head.
And she goes, "We are so blessed for this gift today. Thank you so much. Here, for all your troubles."
And she'll take out one of the jars of like preserves and swap it out as like an exchange. 'Cause I don't think they have much money.
As the planned exchange, because this is exactly why she does it, happens. She takes Gem. She just goes, "You really didn't have to." Looks to Arnalda with a knowing look, "But thank you so much. You're growing into a wonderful young lady, Lucia."
She just kind of like beams, and the little anime girl hands to the
I'm doing my best.
She gives you a thumbs up. Not as devout as you, but she's like, I like your energy.
She's doing good energy, kid. A little bit of a freak, but keep going.
The two of you continue on. The morning is wonderful. The people are out. The place is in full bloom. Tall, important administrative buildings pass you by. You don't know what's inside of those. You don't know the business that people conduct inside of those. There are many storefronts and such, which, sell curious things that you've always been curious about, but have never really entered. Not through any restrictions, mind you. It's just been a life that's been based around a cycle. You can't help but see that the many lives of the people around you. You see a dragonborn and a small gnome share a kiss. You see people with these spell books and long robes that look like the robes your godman wears, but they don't have any of the religious symbols hanging on them. They also carry around these strange wooden sticks. These guards in these large silver armor, wearing these large swords on their side, always walk by. And they were scared. You remember you were really scared of them at first, but you were eventually led to believe that they were here to protect you. And then they became less scary. Eventually, walking through the city, the fields come into view. You see the flowing, you see in this large hump of land, verdant green fields with a small stream flowing through it. What's at the end of the stream? What's at the end of this river? You don't know. It goes very long. You might have followed it at one point, but then the distance away from home might have been a little bit too scary. It stretches into the horizon. It goes into the trees of the forest and extends beyond. You don't know much of the world that extends beyond this place. But you're happy.
Ignorance is bliss.
After a while, as you walk out into the fields, finally stepping onto the familiar crunches of grass, you hear...
Arnalda, you doing okay?
Oh.
Did my spell not... Did that not work?
She turns back, like a little confused.
I'm alright, Petal. It's just a little bit of a hiccup. Here. Why don't we set up near the stream?
Okay, but as soon as we get some honey, you're gonna have to start drinking that stuff, like, raw. Like, I don't even mean, like, putting it in your tea. Like, I need you to, like, start guzzling that honey so that your throat is gonna be, like, all nice and warm and cozy, and so that you don't have to worry about coughing anymore. So I think you should do that when we sit down.
I believe if I started chugging honey, I would have more problems to worry about, actually.
Really? When I did it, it worked last time, but I guess you're right.
Oh, dear. Well, if I'm sure to approach something like chugging honey with as much spirit as you, then perhaps I could accomplish such a task.
Maybe pray to Idun once in a while. The power of youth will get you there.
Yes. Youth. I could use some of that. But
And she'll help set up the blanket and everything.
it seems like you have it in full bloom. Just enough for the both of us.
I'll always make sure to have enough for you.
Speaking of youth, as he starts setting it up. I've been pondering, Petal. He takes a breath. Well, before we get to that, actually, he unfurls the cloth on the basket, and he reaches into it gingerly, and you see he pulls out a small toy boat,
Oh, wow.
and he just goes, the Tinkerton Guild, they stopped by to thank us for the service we did for them cleaning up the yard the other day. And they gave this to us.
Wow. It's incredible.
Come here, dear.
She'll kind of like slide over. And yet again, like, she's a young woman, but she acts like a child. Like, it's a little odd.
He just goes, here, you take hold of it.
Okay.
No.
What do I do?
I want you to figure that out yourself. Use your eyes, use your mind. Let curiosity rove over. Let yourself discover the nooks and crannies of this.
Well, I know what a boat is, but maybe this is a special kind of boat. And maybe this boat can fly.
As she starts to kind of like, float through the air. As if it's powered by magic.
And it can go to all the different worlds and all the different lands and see everything from high up in this boat.
Would you like that?
Like what? And she'll turn back around, a little confused, with the boat still in her hand, like mid-swoop.
To what you said this morning. To stretch your legs. But not within our home, but the places beyond.
I have thought about it, but would we be able to have our picnics?
I suppose those would have to take a pause, but
Oh no!
And she's gonna immediately drop the boat and, come down to you and yet again blow little soft air into her hand, warm them up, and cast another healing word.
before you cast it, his hand gently grips yours, halting the cast, halting somatic. And he just gently puts a hand on your shoulder and slowly sinks to his knees. Yeah. He reaches for the boat, and you see it's just out of his reach. And as he leans forward, you hear, and he leans back. You could tell that even that exertion hurt him a little bit.
Why isn't
Can you take
my
hold
magic working?
Can you take hold of the boat, dear?
Okay, but I my spells normally work, so maybe I did some. If I pray hard enough, maybe it will be better
He-
next time.
And she
What-
picks up the boat.
The back of your hand, he gently brushes away a strand of hair from the side of your face. And he just goes, "No. With your eyes, and feel free to use your hands as well, I want you to find a little secret. A little secret on this boat. You have a natural curiosity. It led you to find a red berry of all things. Use that to scout about, see what's interesting on this."
Well, it's not that it can fly.
And she's going to cast, like with her little pointer finger, the tip of her finger, she's going to cast light, so that she can kind of, look into the boat with the light to look in the nooks and crannies, and she twists it all around as she looks for the surprise.
Make an investigation check with advantage.
First
Oh.
roll.
First roll. Don't fuck it up. Investigation with advantage. That would be... Oh no, hold on. I can't see my sheet.
Oh,
Wow.
boy.
Well, so I'm confused what it did on my thing.
Okay,
Oh, so you have to change the settings on the sheet
Damn
manually.
it.
I got you, but you rolled a 14.
Oh, 14. Okay, cool. So that was at advantage because I also see a nat 1 on there, which would be fair.
Okay. As you look it over with the assistance of light at your fingertips, you notice that on the very side of the ship, in hindsight, it's so obvious. As you kind of narrow your perspective, you notice this very obvious thing in front of you. There is a small sort of like cog on the side that seems to be outstretched from the rest of the structure.
Ooh, you tinkerers, I should have known.
And she's going to start to turn the cog.
As you turn the cog, it gets a bit harder as it keeps going, as you begin to wind up this boat. This boat, which has wheels, like sort of like water wheels on the side, as you let go of the cog eventually, as you wind it up, there's a surprise as you hear this machination in front of you whirl to life in your hand, as the wheels on the side begin to turn. You see Arnalda smile, and he gestures to the lake.
Does it move?
And she immediately jumps up and sprints over to the water to put it gently down in as the cogs are still whirring.
The wheels move in tandem as it begins to move slowly, ever so slowly downstream, moving by itself, but also assisted by the gentle down current. As you watch it move, you notice that it's getting a little bit too far out of reach.
Uh-oh. Wait, come
And
back.
as that happens, a hand is gently placed against your shoulder, and he goes, "No, let it be."
But the boat!
Boats are not made to stay in one place. It is where it's supposed to be, in the water, moving wherever the streams take it.
Seems kind of dangerous to me.
Yes. But danger, uncertainty, makes for a full life. The harbor is where the ship's at its safest, but that's not what ships are for. And
That's a cool quote.
I know I made it.
I know. I feel like we should put it on a plaque in our house or something.
Perhaps,
Yeah.
if the time comes for it.
Mm-hmm.
And you watch as this toy boat leaves the stream. It leaves downwards, getting farther away from you.
Hmm.
And he goes,
Scrunchy face on screen.
"Oh, I feel the same, dear. To hold something so precious to me. But perhaps it's better if you allow things to go on their intended paths. Here. Let me pour you a cup.
I'm just gonna put honey in your cup.
Can I ask for a small bit of mercy and mix it with even a little smidge of water?
By Thor's hammer, it's granted.
Thank you, Thor's hammer. He begins to pour. His hands shake a little bit, but you learned your pouring technique from him. A smooth stream nonetheless. In the teapots that he crafted on his own. As he gently picks up the one that looks like an elephant and pours it in, and puts it off to the side. He takes a deep breath, as the both of you are kneeling, and you know that it's time. With this deep breath, you know that it's time to take in a prayer. Open air prayers are prayers that take place in these open fields. You have some kind of feast with someone, and you dedicate this feast in thanks to the Norse gods. The ones that you and Arnalda have are silent, quiet. It is the both of you with your arms outstretched, head, chin tilted up, allowing the winds to blow into you to take any of your prayers that you utter in your mind outwards. As the wind blows gently, as your arms outstretched to the side, as you begin to give your thanks, you feel it, this connection to the wind, tangible. It's something that you've tried to explain to other people, but they've never gotten it. It is, you feel a confluence, the joining of two rivers, of two streams. Your choices, everything has led you to here, into the world around you. There's this ethereality, this outwardness that you always feel as you feel deeply connected to the wind. Few things go through your mind. There's these things that you sort of cherry pick, the things that you grab out of the ether. You hear a prayer for a healthy child, a prayer for the safe return of a wife from sea, a warrior's prayer to survive a battle, and if not, to have a glorious death. You pick up these things, but you always have the choice, one thing among these things, to zero in on it, to sort of gain a deeper understanding, more clarity on something. During this particular prayer, as the clean winds of the plains fill your lungs, you catch a small hint of soot. It catches your lungs just for a second. As your eyes open, you look up into the sky. A red sky. A dawn-touched sky. The sky was blue just a moment ago. Must be a result of your prayers. This must be a vision. Must be one of the many visions you receive. But what you see in this red sky, the shape of black breaks into the dawn, spirals into the air. And as your eyes follow it, it is the only thing in the air. You see the clouds. You see the clouds behind it begin to follow and twist and writhe around it, as if the very act of it spinning is dragging the clouds along with it. The very motion of this thing, everything around it begins to yield, as this spinning black object eventually resolves to a still form in the sky. You see these large black wings sprawl to the side, causing all the clouds to billow off to the side. As you see what almost looks like a dragon.
Are there any gods associated with dragons that I would know of?
Not here.
Interesting.
But for some reason, you feel a light coming from this, a warmth. These are terrifying creatures, you know, but it crowning the sky and it, amongst the red. You strangely, for some reason, as you try to gain deeper insight into this vision, you feel moved. Not fear. No. You should feel fear. These are tyrannical, monsters that can cause wanton destruction. But you see hope. You see a world beyond where you are. And then you exhale. And you open your eyes. You're at the picnic. Arnalda exhales. Oh now. Shall we?
Did he have a weird interaction at all? Can I see if, make an insight check or something to see if he also
Absolutely.
saw something along those lines? Okay, hold on. Also, sorry that my screen goes dark.
It's fine.
My room has no
It's
lights in it right now.
Dramatic lighting.
Dramatic, super dramatic lighting.
The tension of when you're about to roll.
The tension of when you're about to roll. You're plunged into darkness. Okay, so a normal roll. Oh, cool. 22?
22. He is completely unfazed. He did his prayers and now he's ready to eat. They moved.
So she knows that she's always been a little different, right?
Yes.
Okay, cool. So
She goes, wow, today I guess really is a special day.
Oh, truly. Is it because it's been divine touched by the many gods?
You could say that.
she says as she starts to go and set aside the little tea, put out the little finger sandwiches, start to cut off the sourdough bread, in a very methodical, calm manner.
Did you have, this morning, Petal, and you don't have to talk about it if you don't want to. But did you have that vision about the fires again?
Oh,
And you see she kind of nervously tucks a piece of hair, back into her bandana of her short, pink wisps and goes,
it's okay. No big deal. It happens. Just a reminder of how grateful I am to be in this present moment.
She kind of like gives a little bow to the tea set.
All right, well, let's have it eat and go home. There's much to do. There's much jam to make.
Maybe I can find those red berries and we can make a really cool jam.
That would be a blessing by the gods themselves.
Indeed.
You have a feast. An assortment of sweets, of hot bread. Lusardi has packed a couple of salted meats, which is a rarity, but a nice delicacy now. You eat until your belly is full, and you leave a little loaf of bread out for the people who have passed. As you begin to clean, as the open air prayer is now complete, as you see other people taking to the field and doing their prayers, you see a figure making its way on the beaded walkway, coming over to you. She wears a sort of white vestments. She has this very elegant rapier by her side. Her hair is sort of like a tied back, sort of like bluish kind of hair. A half elf woman, whom you have grown to be familiar with throughout your life. She walks over with this sort of like same like elegant bearing gait that she has. Her name is Aurier Verluane, a warrior of the Verjandi, an elite set of devout warriors that are dedicated to the ministry. And she just goes, "All Father be with the both of you this morning."
And All Father be with you. Good morning.
Good morning, Verluane. To what do we owe this pleasure of this visit? Well, you see, I thought I'd find the both of you within these fields. I was actually hoping to speak to Lucia.
Oh. Was it because of the boat? Well, listen, okay, so here's the thing. Boats are supposed to leave the harbors sometimes, and because the harbors are safe.
I know
But
nothing
sometimes
of a
when the
boat.
boat needs to turn around. Oh. Never mind. Yeah. Talk to me. I got it.
She looks to Arnalda, and Arnalda just shrugs. She goes, "The girl said never mind." Aurier chuckles slightly, and she just goes, "Well, as you may know, your presence is typically comes as a special request throughout the years by a few certain people."
Oh. That makes sense. Does she want to see me?
She is here to see you this year.
Okay. Well,
And then you see Arnalda just goes, only if she wants to.
oh,
Turns to Arnalda.
I'm always happy to help. I just feel bad because, well, it's kind of the same thing every year. But absolutely happy to help.
I'll lead the way then.
I'll see you back at the house, okay?
Yes. But before you go, I have one more thing for you.
No, not another boat I'm gonna lose.
No, something I want you to keep. Reaches into the same basket, and you hear the sounds of like a small chain. He handles this item gingerly as he holds it up towards you. The small circular object that he presses the button on, and you see this sort of like clamshell design opens up and shows a clock.
What in the FMA is going on
A
here?
pocket watch.
With the date.
With the date.
And he just goes, for you to be able to tell the time wherever you are.
Wow. Why am I getting so many gifts today? Is it because I saw that red berry? I'm telling you, the blessings today, they're coming in by the
Yes.
loads.
Yes. Red berries rare to be certain, but sweet. Very, very sweet. I'm sure. I'll see
this
you at the
really-
house.
And as she takes, she goes, "Is this?" As she calls out, as he starts to head back.
Is this really mine?
Of course. It's yours.
I love it.
And it's all yours.
It's the most wonderful thing I've ever had, Arnalda. Thank you.
I'll see you at the house.
And she'll turn around with the new pocket watch that she'll try to either hook onto her skirt or, wear it around her neck. As she turns to look at, is it Aurea? How's it pronounced?
Aurier.
Aurea. And she says,
Well, what do you know? I lost a boat and I got a clock.
as she holds up the little pocket watch.
I'm still unclear on this boat.
Well, here's the thing with boats. They're not meant to stay in the harbor. They're supposed to go out into the water.
You've stated
I
this
don't
before,
think they're
yes.
Yeah, I don't think they're meant to like drown though. That's my question though. If
That
they're
would
meant
be
to
the
go out
complete
into the
antithesis
water,
of a boat, yes.
yeah, that would be. But sometimes they do that.
Walk
Sometimes
beside
boats
me.
drown.
She's just chattering the whole way.
She's patient. She always listens. She always enjoys you.
Exactly.
You begin to make your way towards the deeper parts of Tokor. These are where the real important places are. And you normally only walk these places with Aurier. You see Castle Gimli in the distance. The large stone castle where you know that a great evil once took hold of, but the first king, the king blessed by Odin, took eventually slayed this evil, this ash tyrant, and took over this very castle, purified it with just pure intention.
God's bless the king.
No, it's
It's fine.
as eventually you are led to a component of the castle. Walking in, you see other individuals. You're inside of the castle now. But like a smaller part of it off to the side. You did not go through the main entrance. Entering into like this little section of the castle, you see other young men and women. Some of them who you know came from other places of Eira, other places in the same country that you're in. All also people who were just products of war, but was saved, much like you. But you're special. You didn't join the Varor Society, the society of wartime orphans saved by the Anorian army, who were then brought here to Anor, brought to a safe place, nurtured by the ministry, and raised to be very capable servants of the many nobles of Anor. You were destined to be one of them, but something was special about you. Something about you caused, and something that was noticed from everyone around you, caused you to be deviated from this path. and instead you were put with Arnaldo to lead a small yet interesting life. And yet you wonder how different things can be, seeing these servants of the castle who came about the same situation as you, rushing about, seeing Aurier stiffening up, all of a sudden this properness taking over them as if snapping to, and they bow to her, head executor, and they bow towards you and quickly dash away, getting out of sight of your eyes.
Goodbye. Okay.
Eventually you are led through gilded halls until you reach this red padded door where you see a woman dressed in, she has sort of a strictness about her. Everybody that surrounds this, everyone that follows this woman that you're going to meet, they have this sense of strictness, a coldness about them that you were apparently designed to respect. She wears this military outfit, hair, kind of like brown hair pulled back into a ponytail. She wears the symbol of House Aldebrand on her chest, but it's not the woman that has requested you. This is not the woman that you get the visions of. It is her right hand, the one who tends to meet you up front. You do know her. Her name is Eira Sigrid, a lieutenant. She meets you with a stern countenance, hands behind her back. And then looks to Aurier. Aurier goes, "She's here." And
Yes, I'm here. Hi.
Ada regards you for a moment, and she just goes, "Right. Here is the payment as promised." And reaches to like the side of her boot, pulls up a bag, and hands over this like large bag of like it is you can tell it's a hefty bag, but you do know that the people who come from this place, they're strong. Lifting it with ease and handing it over to Aurier. Aurier takes it, the heft of it, kind of weighing her hand down for a moment as she places it to her side. She looks to you with a gentle smile, and she just goes, "I'll wait out here for you."
See you soon. Thanks for walking me.
Of course. You press your way through the red padded door, and you see, kneeling in front of you, this pale, short woman. She wears a fine, soothed out clothes. She has a pallid skin and sort of like jet black hair. And as she opens her eyes, she was kneeling and was focused. Her eyes open, and she regards you with the flat regard of a reptile. Her eyes are these fiery red, and they are the most striking things about her. You've always felt something from her. There's always something. There's always this intense feeling about her. You feel heat. You feel strength. She has the grace of a jungle panther, and she looks like the underbelly of a glacier. Dangerous. But she's the one who saved you. Kali Aldebrand, the High Commander of the Firestorm Brigade. She is an Aeon-marked noble, among one of the most powerful noble families in the eastern constituent region of the Grand Fulshire. She looks at you. And she bows her head slightly at you. Good to see you again.
Blessed day.
You see she takes off her glove, her black glove, puts it off to the side. And she just goes, well, shall we begin then?
Of course. Yes.
You begin the process of the vision ceremony. A small censer is in the room that you fill with. It's already filled with the proper, the unguents and such. As you lighted a flame and this tangible, heavy scent fills the room, you kneel in front of Kali Aldebrand, and you close your eyes, and you gently take her hand. Immediately, you feel the whips of fire closer than ever before in these visions. Your eyes open. These visions of her that you always give to her, that she receives from you every year, this special occasion, they're the same every year. Her, victorious. The sign of strength amongst the pyres and fires, the toils of war. She, of course, stands amongst the ashes. But this time it's different. This time, the fire feels closer, it feels more intense. And you see her walking towards a red sky, up a hill. And on top of this hill, you see she reaches out and her hand touches upon a throne that looks much like the one in the king's room. As that happens, you hear the galloping of a horse from behind, fast approaching. And you hear this sudden bellow. This is all new. You see this woman in front of you turn around, sword at her side. And she swings at your direction, at whatever this approaching horse figure is. And then your vision cuts, and you are present once more.
So embarrassing to get killed by a horse.
I was going to say, so this is the first time this has happened, right?
Yes, this is the first time. It's different. Her eyes open to regard you, silently waiting for the answer of what you saw.
Well,
And you see she really doesn't know how to approach this.
Is it different?
just a little.
Her eyes harden immediately. Fear shoots through you.
Just very, like, I mean, it still had the throne and everything, and it was, you look great. You look great in it. You really do. Yeah, there's just a horse this time.
What did the horse look like? Give me every detail.
It was just a horse.
It's just a horse, right?
You didn't see the horse. You just heard the galloping.
Yeah, I didn't really see it. I more so heard a horse, but yeah, there's just a horse kind of there, just, and you seem surprised by the horse, and yeah.
Her, even though she's all about fire,
Oh God.
she bears an Aeon mark, which are these mystical sigils that every noble, every huge noble bears, that gives them abilities beyond their that separates them from the common folk. Hers is the mark of the Inferno. Uh, she masters fire. She is the absolute controller of fire. But you feel an ice, glacial coldness from her at your stuttering, at your lack of clarity. You don't know if you're making her more annoyed.
So yeah, they're horses are really, wonderful, intelligent, strong creatures. So if anything, I think this is a good sign.
What was the horse doing?
Running.
Where?
I'm scared. How much can I make a roll for myself to see how much she admits?
Sure.
This is like the funniest conversation I've heard Kali Aldebrand have about a horse. Where's the horse? What's the horse doing? What does the horse look like?
And this is her being patient. This is her acting within the measure.
Yeah, she's not gonna kill me.
She really cares about this horse.
Jenny. Okay, hold on. I'm trying to roll wisdom.
I hate Kali Aldebrand so much.
Okay, and nat 20, so 24.
All right, what does that entail for you? I thought it was. Okay, so
That was rolling for how much she should reveal.
Does that mean you're gonna reveal everything or not?
That's what I'm asking.
Oh,
Is she
okay.
gonna
You
kill
want me to decide
What's
it?
the smartest
Okay.
thing to do
All right,
with
so
how
since-
she looks
yeah.
so
So
scary?
since you rolled a nat 20, and because nat 20s typically mean you want to do the good thing,
The good thing.
there was something about this woman that's always made you fearful. She's the one who saved you. She's the one that you were taught to be thankful of. But every time you've seen visions of her, it's destruction. It reminds you of the fires that penetrate your home, the ones of your visions. Something tells you that perhaps you have said enough.
And yeah, that was it. Kind of same old, same old.
An exertion of breath. This reserved woman eventually resigns herself to pick up her glove and put it on her hand. And you do take note that her hands, she's such a small woman. But you hear her stories. How fierce she is. The war she has waged and won, the odds she has gone up against. The very cream of the crop. A prodigy of Eira Bryn, a prodigy of life, and the sole survivor of her family who has seen some tragedies throughout the years. But she had the strength to carry on and to endeavor. The people who live under her all live a fruitful and full life. Everything you've heard about her is that she is the most wonderful, most capable woman ever. And Jenny doesn't like that.
No. I hate her
I was about to
so
say that
much.
Jenny's gonna like throw her laptop.
I also kind of hate, I just had the thought in my head about, this is probably like the only time in a game ever that Kali's going to have more screen time than me for any amount of time of the game's existence. And that pisses me off just because it's her.
Jenny's like, and for that, I'll kill her.
Oh, I was already gonna, I'm killing her. She's gonna die.
Oh, okay.
That horse is me.
Got that horse in
Yeah,
me.
the horse.
She puts the glove back on. And she bows her head slightly towards you. Stands up. And the 5 or 6 times you've done this, she has stood up every single time. She is nothing if not consistent throughout all of her motions. And she just goes, "Thank you." And much like the other time, she begins to just she does a pivot and walks straight towards the door to exit. You are left to clean up the things that have been left behind, and as you exit, you see that Kali in her right hand is gone. Right hand lieutenant, not her hand.
Well, her hand is also gone, I bet.
Ori sees you. He goes, "Everything go well?"
She nods.
The last few times have left you a little bit shaken up, but this time was a little bit more scary. She takes your hand gently, and you see that she has divvied up the gold into another bag. And gently places it in your hand. Here, I'll walk you back home.
Thank you.
You're doing this kingdom a great service.
It's a gift from above.
She points.
It is. And we are blessed to have you share it with us. You are led back home, the same path every single time. As you approach your house, she just goes, "We really should talk without standing on any other sort of business or predicate. I should really just speak with you and Arnaldo once my duties loosen up a little bit."
I think we would like that.
I do apologize that the last few meetings have been fraught with pretenses, but perhaps next time. But I'll let you get home now.
Have a good day. Thanks for walking me again.
Of course. You can ask me anything.
Of course.
She watches as you, just, as a safety precaution, she watches as you go into your house. As you open up the door, you see Arnaldo, sort of like the basket's been put up. And normally he'd be making jam, but this time he's just been at a table. You see just kind of like a hand over his face. And as you open the door, his head slowly rises. Oh. How was it, Petal?
Well, it was a little different. Are you okay?
Yes,
What's wrong?
I'm just feeling a little bit under the weather.
So under the weather that magic can't even help.
I am afraid that the grasps of time cannot be undone by magic, dear.
What do you mean?
And as he looks up to you to speak, you hear behind you, Lusardi, Orie, is standing in a doorway. She's noticed the situation and approached. Are you all right? Yes, just getting along in my years, you know. I don't mean to worry you for Luane. No, it's nothing. Thank you for taking care of Lucia, like always. No, it's nothing. I don't wish to keep you any longer. I know the naming ceremony is coming up later today. And that's the first time you've heard of it. People were in full bloom out in the streets. There was a buzz about in town. Or he goes, yes, that is true. It'll be an important occasion.
The what ceremony?
The leader of the... Well, I'm afraid if I say a bunch of terminology towards you, it's not going to make sense, but there's an important ceremony today when a lot of important people are going to be there. Someone's going to be named the leader of a house at a school.
Wow. Leader of a house? Like our house?
She points around.
And you see Arnalda, you see, like, his eyebrows scrounge just for a moment. And he blinks for a bit. He just goes, and as Ori is about to explain, he just goes, something bigger. Something beyond our scope. Eira Bryn is a school where many people from all the 5 regions come together and meddle and learn from one another. There are 5 houses there, and the one who's going to be named at the ceremony is going to be the leader of the Silver Lions. It's a momentous
That sounds
occasion.
scary.
Yes, it is a load-bearing responsibility, which is why someone must be very capable. Someone chosen by the king.
By the king?
Yes.
Should we make sure that we go to, like, bless them or something? Just in case, if they need an extra oomph?
Looks to Aurier. And Aurier just goes, we could have you be a part of the procession outside, but as for the more inner ceremonies, the more private ones, I'm afraid we can't do that. And you see Arnalda immediately jumps in. He just goes, but you can ordain our presences, correct, to allow us to be a part of this.
Yes, I know how to do that.
Keep in mind that I am going to have to be responsible if I'm going to allow you to take part within the inner ceremonies.
She looks nervously over to Arnalda.
Arnalda goes, I have been thinking a lot about my dear Lucia here. She is a flower in full bloom, and flowers tend to grow in one place, but eventually they must allow themselves to be in the wind. Can't I allow her to see something as wonderful and momentous as this ceremony. So, yes, I promise we won't embarrass ourselves among the high lives. Even if we do get lost in the wonderful food they have there. But I think it'd just be something nice for her. See, Ori thinks about it for a moment. She just goes, okay. But even if the two of you are out of my sight, then the two of you have to be with each other. Understand?
Oh, I wouldn't leave his side.
Yes. She's always been
We're
by my
two
side.
peas in a pod. We're two red berries in a bunch.
Red berries? What do you mean strawberries?
Yeah. No, a red... Never mind.
Very well. I'll be attending to the personal guard in the procession outside. But once the ceremony begins to move inside, the two of you will find me by the gates. And I'll lead you both inside. That sounds wonderful. Thank you. Thank you, Aurier. It's nothing. I wish you good health, Arnalda. Yes. And you as well. Just be mindful of the time. Cheers. Good day. And walks out. He grasps your hand and gives it like a vigorous, like little squeeze. He just goes, be mindful of the time. Good thing I gave you that little pocket watch, so you can always be mindful.
She swings it up around her finger like a yo-yo.
Skillful.
I know, right? It's my favorite new thing.
You've never stepped inside of the castle beyond doing those little those little seer ceremonies for that lord. Just, I figured today will be an eye-opening day for you.
Well, I'm kind of hoping we might find someone who can help with your cough.
Time. Everyone yields to it, dear. As does the condition of my body, so does my grip on you. There's much more for you out there, Lucia, and I would very much like for you to see it. Perhaps you will at the highest room at Castle Gimli.
Only if you're there with me.
Of course. Let's get ready for the occasion, shall we?
Yeah, 'cause you know, us boats are supposed to go out in the water and not sink. And sometimes you have to make sure the harbor is left behind, but you don't want to leave the harbor if it's a safe. 'Cause when you... But then when you turn
You
around
got the spirit.
and forget
You're working it out.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
You got it. No, I get what you're putting down, yes.
Oh my god.
I'm just watching the face get more confused.
You can see the pipeline of thoughts.
She is the gif of the woman with the numbers in the air, like
He just goes, you know, you've never attended an occasion such as this, but I think it's time to put aside some of to bring out a bit of money that we saved up. You see, an occasion such as this, You must dress the part.
Oh my goodness. We have to get really fancy. I'll get my most pretty apron.
No.
No?
We'll make something even better for you, dear. Something for you.
More than the apron.
And she starts to kind of like panic because the apron is the nicest thing she has.
This is a lot of pressure.
Starts to hyperventilate a little bit.
He presses the gold bag that you got, and he tucks that in your pocket. And he goes, "That's for you. But all these other ones throughout the years, we're going to have it all go into you. All right, dear? Let's fetch you a mighty fine dress for the occasion."
Yeah, what are you gonna wear? You can't wear that.
She looks.
What do you mean by that?
If I can't wear this,
Points to her like, you know, they're very simple clothes.
you can't wear that.
I
so we gotta
am
find.
a godman, I'll have you know.
And
These are fine vestments for every occasion.
really though, like a scarf or something, we could maybe put on. Yeah,
I would
pop
like a
color.
scarf. A scarf
Yeah,
would be
a nice
neat.
scarf.
Yes. Cashmere, I think, is the thing nowadays. I'd like some of that.
I've heard of cashmere, but I've never seen it before.
I'll get you a cashmere scarf as well.
Oh my gosh.
Come now, dear.
This child's gonna die.
There's a lot. There's a lot to see within the day.
This child will die.
And all of a sudden, there's excitement. There's something big coming today. Something that you've never gone. High life ceremony. This is exciting. Enough to distract you from what's going on with Arnalda.
If he dies this episode, I swear.
Stop dancing, Timmy. You and your dancing.
As we zoom out from the scope of Tokor, the large capital city of Anor, of Castle Gimli, of this momentous occasion, and of this humble soul that has not seen anything else beyond the borders of this city. We move from a perspective that started in fire to one cloaked in cold and snow the day before. And we will do that after this break.
Woo. See ya in a bit.
See you in a bit.
Jenny's character comes after the break.
I maybe it's Emma's second character.
Yeah, I'm playing with myself.
Jenny just gets to watch.
I'm like,
awful.
I'm enjoying it. Front row
Absolutely
seat.
not. Jenny, you need to help me. You need to help my character.
All right, everyone. We'll see you in a little bit. welcome back, everyone. How's everyone enjoying it so far? Oh, it's been amazing. Old man. Everyone loves the old man and little daughter. Everything's great.
Everything's fine.
Don't you dare kill him. Please give me something to live for.
What? What? I wouldn't. I wouldn't. Makes him sick. All right.
Nothing a little lesser restoration can't help.
Has anyone been playing Hades 2? Can't escape time. All right. Let's see. All right. So, where we last left off, as we exit out of the viewpoint of one small perspective, we entered into the wide-eyed, more all-seeing perspective of another, more belligerent, less humble, full-bearing soul. Give me one moment. Where the hell is my sound effects?
This is what happens like the first 30 minutes after most D&D start times off stream. Is
You should
Timmy
have
looking
seen
for
the
his
hour leading
songs.
up this.
Oh, where's my playlist? Son of a bitch. Why you guys do this?
You have all the tabs open. It's a nightmare.
Quick, Emma, make sound effect, make winter storm sound effects. Wow, that's very convincing.
That sounds even better, what you just played.
Oh, I couldn't tell that you'd stopped.
Add that to the resume. Winter storm, Emma. Honey, you got a storm coming.
Winter storm effects.
Pick up my Demeter boon real quick.
All right.
Whew, that's cold.
Snow. All-encompassing ice. As the wind howls across and blankets our vision with this angry, rapid, white, unyielding in its presence, in its endless march. We hear the sound of a pair of footsteps as a small figure carves a shadow in the squall. We see a young woman halfling making her way through the squall. Her voice calls out, Ven! As she calls out, her dressed in her spiked shoes, warm winter garment, she marches through the storm. She just goes, Ven, where are you? She steps one step forward, another careful half step. This calculated half step. As she steps onto the white, as she advances into just the purest form of the unknown, where everything around you is the same color. Death is all black, but this place is all white. She takes a step forward, and as she puts her foot down, her whole foot down into the barren white that she's always been stepping on, she feels the front half of her foot tip forward, and she takes a step back as the weight that she puts on causes snow and a small portion of the rock face that she's stepping on to fall off of the side into a bottomless crevice. She gets on her hands and knees, waves her hand at the ground until she feels nothing. She has marked the distance of the bottomless crag in front of her, certain depth, and the small rock structure that she's standing on. She calls out again towards the wind, attempting anything to overpower the nature's natural howl. Ven! A second later, she hears something in the distance. Her ears do everything they can to latch onto the sound, pulling it from the squall. And then she hears it again. Over here! And she takes note that the voice is coming downward. She goes, Ven, can you hear me? Yeah, I can't move. Yes. Don't worry. Stay down there. Just, I'll get you help. It's just sorry. It's just getting really cold. The halfling woman gets up, turns, and with her trained mind, she recalls the steps. Even though the snow has covered her steps, she finds her steps. Her educated steps bring her back, and so she sees in the distance amongst the whites this small flittering of an orange flame. As she comes close to a wagon that is being guarded by one sole woman. This woman, a large woman, dark. She has a dark skin, and a very dark, dour expression, covered up with a scarf and such, and sort of like messy, swarthy, kind of like brownish hair. She wears many scars that have already that she has. None of them, strangely enough, gathered from this hailstorm. All of them gathered throughout her life. As she approaches this tower, this strong, like just warship built woman. She just goes, I found in. She goes, Finn, he fell. He goes, and the woman goes, can you get him? No, I think it's too dangerous. You see the woman stand up, walks around to the back of the wagon, knocking it on the side. She just goes, my lady. And she forces the wagon door to open, fighting against the wind. Sticks her head into the cold inside of the wagon. And Jenny, can you describe the young woman she is addressing?
Yeah. Valora Avanleia is dressed probably warmer than normal. She has bright orange hair tied back maybe like halfway between almost being like acceptable and messy, you know? And she has earrings that look almost like a little like serpent or dragon in nature, the fang hanging off one ear. And or she normally prefers her fingerless gloves. I think she's wearing not fingerless gloves. And she has green eyes, light skin, human, and yeah.
You see your knight, Rudra Pallavi, a knight of House Avanleia, dedicated, been serving the house longer since you were born. Look at you with colder eyes, and she just goes, "We have a serious situation out there."
Did something happen? Nobody like fell again, right?
You're met with an affirming quiet that she doesn't want to say.
I told them not to go too far with without Phantom out there. But
I hate
she
to
jumps up.
hate to put you out there.
No, it's fine, it's fine.
But
I mean, I should be helping anyways.
I know you don't hate it.
I mean, I do. I mean, we've got a day to wrap up, so I should be helping, and I'm plenty warm enough. So, oh wait, where, who?
Opens the door with a shove, and as you walk out into the squall, that cold wind hits you, does nothing to darken that expression. And you see oh gosh, one second. Fuck. You see Vereni Billstone, one of the siblings in charge of the Billstone Expedition Company, the one that you've been traveling with to come to this place specifically, Aladunya, approach you. She just goes, "Oh, sorry, gotta save our skin again, my lady, but my brother, he fell."
Okay. You know, Phantom. I don't mind, but I mean, it is kind of hard to tell where the drop-offs are with all the. I'll just get going, and she calls over for Phantom. She calls.
As you call for Phantom, the wagon that's hitched to your wagon, it suddenly, you feel the wagon, that hitch wagon shakes. You see, even through the snow, the slitted eyes go open, to see through the bars of through the windows of the windows of the wagon, as if called. These eyes piercing. And even through all of the snow, you know where this person is. As all of a sudden the back of the wagon shoots open, and you see walking out, pitch black, forming a pitch black shape in this white snow. Can you describe Phantom?
Yes, Phantom is a large wyvern with 4 legs, as is typical of wyverns, that are not raised in captivity, if you know the lore. And he has dark gray scales and sharp teeth, and like other wyverns, a stinger at the end of his tail. And he's saddled up and ready to go still, because they're actively doing things, I imagine, and he probably blends in pretty well with the snow, except he's a little bit darker. But she goes up to him and she pats him and goes, "Are you warm enough?" You know, not that he can reply, but start to.
But ever dutiful and present as ever. You brought him out here. He knows it's the serious task at hand. As you take to him, your ever present steed immediately starts to warm up as the forelegs come out, as the wings slowly begin to spread. It's now just a matter of, tell me where to go. Just think about it.
She climbs on and looks to Ven and is like, you wanna hop on? Show me?
Yeah. He
Goes to grab arms.
As you latch on, you pull her up. She just goes, okay, just go that way. And she points after centering herself for a moment.
His fear phantom, which means soar, and draconic.
And soar, he does. Moving with strength. He is an arrow launched out of a fully drawn back bow. The winds around are howling and strong, but there is no wind. There is no wind stronger than Phantom, and you trained him to do that. You were the one who oversaw all of that. As he moves effortlessly, gliding against the storm. As he moves forward, as you begin to take flight and leave the ground, you see Phantom maintains a very steady pace as you rush forward. Eventually, giving the directions from Ven, you hear she eventually brings you to a point. And as you reach a certain point, you hear beyond her instruction, you hear, anybody there? Vin.
We're coming. She will try to direct Phantom to where she hears him calling.
As you begin to go towards that way, you notice there's a sharpness to you. Things you have to be careful for, because you've been in these situations. You were trained to be in these situations. The small clattering of rocks, things falling around to the side. There's a slight shift in the landscape. As you dive downwards, make a perception check or survival.
Perception or survival. Let me look. What is there the same? I think. So I'll do perception. 22. That's pretty
22. Your eyes lock on. You have found smaller needles in bigger haystacks. As eventually following the sound, you reach the side of a crag. Phantom has to latch onto this narrow side of this place. This place is two crags and a huge crevice in between, with only a few stone like parts connecting one part to the other, which is why you were sent out here, to try and make it a little bit more livable for travelers. You see, as Phantom latches onto the crag, you see Vin, this other halfling, the brother of Verity, piting out, holding on to dear life to this almost flat side of the rock face. Cold snow getting into his jacket. Just goes, "Hey, what took you so long?"
Sorry, warming up, but okay, we need to go fast, I think.
I promise I won't call you Pipsqueak again.
Never really knew where that came from, but she starts working.
As you begin to help and you reach out towards him, you hear close. And you hear movement coming really fast from below.
Work fast.
Go ahead and make an initiative check.
Okay.
Just as a
And
check.
I think also, because we rolled on the mount table thing that A5e has, I think Phantom rolled Spirited, and the mount and its rider gain +1 to initiative checks.
Yes.
And I never put that on my sheet, so it'll be +1 of 22 again, then with the +1.
All right. Does that beat what I'm gonna roll?
Hopefully.
We'll see.
I have notoriously bad initiative.
I rolled not one for my first roll.
Okay. Oh, good job, Timmy.
You watch as your hand is outstretched. We're normally risk those who are risk adverse would pull their hand back because they feel this fast moving presence. You instead commit to the risk, grabbing the hand because the reward of the safety of a friend is much more than your own personal safety. As you grab his hand, you pull towards you. As he flies towards you, you see his body is almost clipped by this rising of flying presence that lunged upwards. That would have almost grabbed your arm if you hadn't pulled it towards you. As you see this large humanoid furred creature shoot upwards. You barely dodging it as Vin is like just falls onto the back of your wyvern. This creature grabs onto the side of the cliff face and looks down towards you. Bloodied fangs of like a white outside of fur. This large hulking creature. A yeti.
If she feels she safely has him on, she just commands Severn, which means up, to like go.
As you see a Phantom who is perfectly disciplined, but also has to give a fierce face to whatever. He is a fierce protector of you. Begins to fly upwards. You see the Yeti fiercely climbing along the side of the mountain, almost actually like keeping pace. As Phantom has to fight against the wind. Make a dexterity saving throw.
Okay. Is there 8?
You see he grabs a rock. He grabs a chunk out of the cliff face and just tosses it towards you. You see it just in time, and you not being able to dodge it just in time, you veer Phantom to turn, shielding the two halflings on the back of your wyvern, taking the brunt of the rock. Let's see. You take 4 bludgeoning damage.
Ow.
As the rock shatters over your form, but you shielding it, the rock breaks over you. A mild bruise that you're gonna forget in the morning.
How much do I know about Yetis? Do I know about their dislike of
Yes.
certain elements?
Yes.
Okay, then she She will try to. Oh wait, I don't think I'd have anything though. Actually, now that I think about it, I was like, oh, start a fire. That's easy. She probably doesn't have it. Oh, maybe. Okay, no, I know. She goes. Um. She goes. Ven, can you get that saddlebag? The torch?
Yeah. She quickly starts scrambling. She's gonna roll an initiative.
Okay.
13 succeeds. As she begins to scratch, you see the Yeti just crouches as if he's about to leap. And you see she pulls out the torch. Here.
And once if she's able to get the torch lit in time.
You begin to start applying, but this cold wind is working against you. Give me a d20, straight d20.
Okay. Here's the nat one. Let's go. 15. Not a nat one.
As you're fiercely trying to get this torch working, the Yeti leaps off of the cliff face, lunging towards you, hands out at the ready.
As soon as she gets the torch ready, she steers Phantom around to go towards instead.
Going towards the danger. The torch, as soon as he leaps off, the torch is ready. Your hair trigger command immediately followed by Phantom as he looks towards the danger and flies upwards, the flame being carried by you, the only fire within these squalls. Immediately as that happens, you see the Yeti like wide-eyed. All of a sudden the killer form lessens as he more so brings his hands back, leaving himself completely open in the middle of the air.
Okay. And with that, I think she'll just command Phantom to, at that point, almost like knowing that he probably will be too paralyzed by the fear from the torch, to just I think to just like use the momentum of the Yeti in the air to push off of and get further away from it, if that makes sense.
Yes. As the form becomes open, you basically just think it. The little motion, Phantom turns all four legs on the chest of the Yeti and vaults off. The opposing force sends the Yeti, who was lunging at you, all of a sudden now stop dead in the middle of the air and then sent downwards into the crevice.
Poor guy.
Phantom, using that momentum, flies, soars like a bullet through the air.
Bensvelk. Good to Phantom, as she feels the danger cleared.
You land back at the. You eventually find your way back to the wagon, landing with a gentle perch on the snow. Rudra, your knight, makes her way up. She just goes, "Oh, that was fast."
It's a bit of a hurry.
You see Vereni begins helping Vin into the wagon. And Vin goes,
Hand them off the torch.
"Thanks. Yeah. I owe you 1,000.
No, you don't. There's no way you owe me more than I owe you.
It's just, I really want to owe something to, basically my boss, but Oh yeah. Oh, that's my leg.
What even happened? Did it cut off more drastically than you expected? I told you you probably shouldn't go near the edges.
I just kind of got
Phantom's
impatient with doing half steps, so I did a full step. But the moment I did a full step, I kind of completely fell off.
Yeah. That tracks, I guess.
Ugh. Don't give me the
Warm
expedition
up.
puns. As it helps and gets helped into the wagon, Van goes, "We still need to clear a way for the horses to get past." Looking towards you. Says, and Rudra just goes, "Of course she'll do it."
Yep. Take a break.
Yeah, you know what? I think I'm gonna start using my vacation days.
You should.
Just, and Rudra just goes, "The Lord really wants you to know your benefits. Come on." Says, "Come on, Valora. Get us out of here. I'm freezing."
All right. And she'll do it.
You fly high into the air. Phantom uses, you hug Phantom's body close as he spins through the air, beating away all of the strong winds. Eventually, you fly over the storm, getting a clear view of the area around you. You see the white storm below and the clear path ahead. You hold this position for a moment. This view, this might not be what you're thinking about. You are definitely objective-minded at the moment. But this view is something that people would kill for. This view above all else, the ability to see beyond all boundaries, to be a master of the sky, to travel anywhere where you see fit, to see sights that no one else can see in the perspective that no one else can see. But this is just another day for you. The daring heiress to House Avonlea, Valora. With your guidance, you eventually make your way out of the storm. Making your way out of the storm, you eventually close the distance between you and your next designated place of rest. You make your way towards this inn called the Cherry Teacup in a small village called Coslin. Now, of course, such an occasion, places that you stay at, they know of your arrival beforehand, and typically they rent out like the whole inn for you, and this one is no exception. As you eventually make your way out of the snow, you make your way towards this village. Snow still piled up on the ground, but none of it whipping the airs around you. This is typical for this region of Anor, the northern region of Aurora, a place that you've had to work in a lot. Your House Avonlea, are known as the people who create sort of like the road infrastructure of the entire kingdom. Many of the new roads and the things that connect them, the supply stops, the messenger birds, the ones you have to specially train, everything of this entire kingdom can be attributed to your family's work. An undeniably makes up a huge part of the backbone of this entire kingdom. And no one moves as swiftly as you do. And of course, as you make your way towards the inn, The individuals here bow their heads towards you, as is custom here. You like to think it's because of the good work your family has done, because your family has done an immeasurable amount of work that you are definitely not owed to the kingdom. Your family owns an Aeon mark. Your family's bloodline bears one, which means by the very definition, by birthright, you are among the highest echelon of the society here of Anor. That you own the Aeon mark of passage, one that allows you impossible reflexes, agility, to travel from one place to another that no one else can do, all in your blood. And people venerate you for it, respect you.
It's not problematic at all, guys.
It's not. No.
It's a meritocracy.
Yeah, totally. As you approach this tea house that has set aside all that has set aside all of its openness, and instead enclose itself for privateness, all ceremony for you. You make your way into this small village, into this tea house, to see an immaculately clean one tier building. You see booths with large pots hanging over fires in the middle of these booths. This is a style of tea house that is popular with the peoples here whose origins come from another place of living, where they serve themselves tea out of a large pot in the middle in the middle of them. But in this case, even though the fire is roaring, everything's immaculately clean, and it's only you, and it's only you and your procession of people. Then helps Vin out into a room and starts to help. And you see Rudra pull off her giant great sword, her big iron gauntlet, and just kind of does a little flourish. Big pounds of metal hit the ground. As she just goes. Pops her back, her neck muscles kind of strained for a moment as she stretches. She is a rather big for a half elf.
Valora, Rudra, I wish Dad wouldn't tell them they have to rent out the whole thing every time. Feels kind of like a waste. Security or whatever. That's his thing.
Who knows? Maybe your dad just wants to make you feel special.
Oh, I'm sure.
Dry chuckle.
I should probably help get Phantom in the stable. I know they always offer, but most people tend to be a little scared at first.
All right. After you do that, why don't you share a drink with me?
Sure.
She walks away. She does not act like this towards anyone else. This is her acting warm, very warm. In fact, this is the warmest she's ever been, because she's known you since you were a baby.
Yeah, I was waiting for it. I was.
What is that? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
We'll get into that. We'll get into that later.
It's not romantic.
That was Emma going, well, there goes the ship. Another ship sunk.
You have another woman built like a fortress later.
I tend to Phantom really quickly or whatever. Make sure not terrifying anyone, and then go back.
Yeah. Phantom looks at you basically with the eyes that did I do a good job? As you help her towards the stable.
She's like, Ben spelled Phantom, Ben spelled.
He rubs his head against you for a moment as a sign of affection. You bring him towards the stable, and you see that there's a basket, like a welcoming basket that says, and you see that it's in a little nest that has like a bunch of like painted eggs on it that you think are supposed to someone's artistic depiction of a of a wyvern's egg, even though they're definitely not that small. And there's a sign that says "Welcome, Phantom," but it's spelled Phantom.
She picks up an egg. Is it just a drawing of an egg, or is it an actual basket of eggs?
It's there's eggs surrounding the basket, but the actual basket itself is like just something in it. You have to open it.
Yeah, okay, she'll look in the basket then.
You open it to see that there's a whole ass cooked mutton inside. It is one of those anime ass like meats. It's just like a big slab of meat on a bone.
She's like, oh well, this is great. Is you hungry?
You see Phantom, ever so disciplined, but his eyes are widened. It's obvious that he wants it, but he's not gonna lunge towards it. He's just looking at you like.
She picks it up and she throws it as best she's not super strong, but she tries to throw it a little bit and says, "Ichrebi koi," which means get it.
Powerful wyvern jaws bite on it as he slams it down like it's prey and starts eating at it. That's a good treat for him. As Phantom eats and as you pat him, he gives you a slight nuzzle again. As he settles in very nicely.
She's like, I'll see you in the morning, okay? Just says her little goodbyes and I go look for Rudra inside. Not that it's hard with it being empty, but
you go inside to see that there's a few there's a few elven women and men tending to this, and pretty young elves tending to basically like every whim. Most of them are just standing around because they don't have much to do. You see Rudra sitting at the bar, a large gourd in front of her that's uncorked. Looks towards you. Waves you over.
She jumps up into the seat.
She just goes, you know, you shouldn't be doing this much work a day before the naming ceremony.
Well, I would say I disagree. It needs to get done, and I mean, how would you have liked to have climbed down and pulled him off the cliff yourself?
She sees that little smile of yours and, little half smirk. She just sighs, reaches over to clamp a bunch of, like a tankard, pulls it down, puts one in front of you. She holds the gourd, and she just goes, you're reminding me a lot of your mother. Leans over and pours you a couple of whatever's in the gourd.
I'm not as bad as her. She'd probably keep working, she'd probably plan something for tomorrow morning before heading over, and just barely make it in time.
Well, at least she would plan it. You drink, you're expecting some kind of alcohol, but you're drinking some very refreshing, some kind of juice. It's new to you, and it hits the spot really well.
What is this?
You see an elven man who was just waiting for the opportunity to do anything walks forward and goes, that my lady is juice from the winter prick fruit. It only grows in the deepest hearts of the heartlands. It thrives in the cold, but its nectar is very sweet.
It's delicious.
Would you like to bring? Would you like to bring a crate with you, to bring along with you, as a souvenir?
Well, I mean, only if you could spare it, but...
Of course we can. We have that in full supply. We here are very well versed in traveling through the blizzard.
How much is it?
Oh, please, no worries. I insist.
She kind of like looks at Rudra.
You see Rudra puts an elbow down. She has that enforcer look, like she's being very intimidating, and she just goes, "The lady asked how much."
That wasn't her intent by looking at her, but she's like, okay.
That is modus operandi. And he just goes, "Well, since you asked, I was wondering if you could." He snaps his fingers. And you see the other workers kind of like retreat to the back, and you see you see the two of them come out of the back. One of them's holding a piece of paper, and the other one has a stone. And he just goes, "I was wondering if you could read this." And he passes one of the women passes the paper to you, and the other one touches the stone, which is like a stone meant for recording voices, and gives you this.
She looks. Oh, gives.
It's a handout.
Oh, okay. It didn't pop up. Okay. She kind of like squints at it and she goes, "Oh, was the prince here?"
No, don't worry about it. Your name is right there. These are your lines. And go.
Hello, my name is Valora Avenlea, the heiress to House Avenlea. Wait. She keeps...
Okay. Try it again. Give me an ABC.
But she... If you want me to record something recommending your services and whatnot, I mean, like, I'm happy to do it in my own words. I mean, you all have been great.
And you see the one presses the cube. She goes, "We have to re-record all over that." And he just goes, "Oh, it's just if you wish, but our the store is located within Tokor, so it's gonna be a little bit. But if you could just read this,
Well, I mean, I can't recommend somewhere I've never been. I'm sorry. I mean, like, I really appreciate everything you've done. I haven't been there.
It's all right." Rudra gently grabs the piece of paper and just puts it on the bar.
I approve of these products. My favorites are especially the ones to the right here. Kind of like reading the rest of it.
And you see the woman goes, "Oh shit!" Puts it back up. Read that again. And
No.
Rudra, much like a bodyguard, puts a hand up to the microphone. pushes it down. She just goes.
I mean, I give a recommendation for the inn. It's been really nice here, or the juice. I wouldn't mind that.
the two ladies look at the man. He just goes, "Okay."
Wait, which one? Over both?
Cut. And it just goes, just give a recommendation towards the inn, towards everything. To talk about our service and how much you like staying here and how great this village is.
Sure. And she'll genuinely talk about what she's actually liked here, but she's I mean, like, a little bit of like being coerced into it. It's a little bit like, but she's like, at least these are her actual thoughts.
You see your knight just kind of like shakes her head and drinks as you're doing it. And
Is that good?
goes, okay, you know what? That's almost perfect, but you know what? We can do a little. We have a cantrip to kind of like fix something. So you're absolutely fine. Thank you so much, my lady. Thank you so much.
Yeah. No problem. I mean, also, if like, I don't imagine we're gonna be doing much more tonight. If people want to like relax, nobody has. We don't need everyone like standing around waiting.
Oh,
for us
well.
to ask for something,
In that case, there are bells all around. There's all around the tea house. And as you can see, we put a little touch on them. They have horses. Does that remind you of anything? The little bells at the bottom, they have horses.
She looks at them. Do they look like added recently?
Yes, very recently. They have wings.
Oh, yeah, like that's great. Great touch, like Pegasi.
Yeah, exactly. Like kind of like what your family does.
Mhm. Yeah, that's great.
All of them have it, so you can just hit one and we will be right there.
Yeah, as swift as any Pegasi we'd train, I'm guessing.
Thank you again, my lady.
Thank
And
you.
they retreat. And you see Ruju just goes.
She also
Drinks.
just like, I don't know if you've gotten when you go with Mom. Does this happen often for her, or is this like a kind of a one-time thing?
She's much better at politely refusing the fluff.
Yeah. Okay. I was like realizing as I like did that maybe I shouldn't have,
You'll learn.
but I mean, like, I like the place. I mean, being coerced into it is kind of.
Not even named leader yet, and you're already moving the world around you. Big day tomorrow.
And I packed my dress just in case, because I didn't know if we'd get stopped up by the storm. But it's kind of shoved into the saddlebag, so I should probably try and straighten that out a bit now that I think about it. It'll just get messed up when I put it back, so.
I think your father would be upset, but I don't think there's anything more you than a little furled dress.
I mean, I don't want to look sloppy. Also, I'm trying not to rock the boat with him. Before spending.
Yeah. Yes. And she just goes, if it's any consolation, I'll also be there.
And I'm glad.
She pulls out a small flask and pours a little bit into your cup. I just want to celebrate with you before you're pulled off into the ceremony, and I basically don't get to see you anymore For a few weeks.
For a few weeks. It'll go by.
Holds up the tankard. That is some strong alcohol. She goes, how are you feeling?
I feel great. You know? I'm excited. I mean, like, I would have gone last year if Dad didn't want me to push it off. And, you know, he was right. Because he was right. Getting picked to be the leader. The timing works out a lot better this way. So, it's worth the wait. I'm excited.
Nods as she just goes,
How are you feeling about it?
how am I feeling about it?
Yeah.
I'm going to be doing the same thing I've always been doing. At least I'll get to see you every now and then.
You're coming, right? That's what I heard.
Nods.
Mom's gonna miss you. Probably as much as she misses me.
Yeah. Well, she was the one who put me with your father in the first place. How's Reen doing? How's that new knight doing? Did he
Oh, you know, I
outshine me yet?
don't never, but I mean, he is pretty cool. He's
Thanks.
like fought Remorazes and stuff, like single-handedly.
Made up word. I'm kidding.
I don't know if I believe him, but I think I do. I don't think Dad knew what he was doing by hiring him. I mean, it's a good choice, but I think he's a little bit more. I don't think he's as straight-laced as Dad likes. You know, like he's not like he's really good at looking all business perfect knight. You know,
Ah.
when Dad's around, but
So you
like
and your
he warmed up to me pretty fast.
so you and your mother broke him.
I don't think like completely. I tried to convince him that he didn't have to listen to Dad, but you know he wasn't going for that. So
Well,
not yet.
Spence and I getting your dress straightened now. We leave early tomorrow. We're gonna go ride into Takor. Just get all your sleep that you can. Cause we're gonna travel and then before you know it, it's gonna be the ceremony.
After today, I think sleep will come easy.
Nods. All right. Good night, Upstart.
Good night.
And she leans her back into the bar. She's just naturally. She always does this thing where she's just like, all right, now it's time to act naturally cool and just becomes like concept art of a badass character in a bar, just effortlessly. She does pull out a pipe and just throws it in. I can smoke in here, right? Oh. Yeah. The guy goes, well, can I or can I not? And he just interacts.
She's just kind of side-eyeing as she walks up away.
You make your way towards the designated room. Everything neat, and of course, a well-appointed abode. curtains are drawn to show that the very very clear outside. The skies in Aurora are beyond comparison. Clarity, this, you can count the stars above. And almost in a way makes you feel like you can reach out to them and grab it. You have a big day ahead of you tomorrow. The naming ceremony for one of the most venerated houses of Bryn Officers Academy. Of all the 5 houses, the Silver Lion's house is the one that's represented by the crown, by Arnador, the central region, the one that surveys over all the other regions. Arnador in the center. But you have 4 other houses to contend with and to cooperate with. For that is the purpose of Bryn in the first place. So that people from all regions can come together and mingle with one another, and you guys can learn from each other's life experiences. This place built 971 years ago. It's a place of history, almost as old as the kingdom itself. And it's gonna be your job to uphold the mantle of the Silver Lions. And make a lot of new friends while you're at it. Friends from the Blue Wolves house. A house comprising of students from the northern region of Aurora. Then there's Golden Moose that comes from the western region of Konica. And then there's the Crimson Griffins, which come from the southern region of Stravai. And then you have to deal with the Black Boars that comes from the eastern region of the Folger. Now, you've been told about all the different kinds of personalities and what the things you can expect at Bryn Officers Academy. But everything said to you, things that were meant to build pressure or to build experience, it's just all built up, if anything, expectations, excitement. You were always one to go headfirst into danger, and this is no different. You don't just go headfirst, you careen into it. You venture. So it doesn't matter if you're sure-footed or not, even though you do like to make sure you are. You embody your the Silver Lion's house motto exactly. And you never meant to. It was just you naturally. Witness valor. And who better to embody that is Valora. The naming ceremony is tomorrow. Big occasion. That means the king and queen will be there. Probably the little prince boy at the moment. Bunch of the noble houses, maybe a bunch of other unmarked houses from throughout the kingdom. It's an occasion. The Silver Lion's naming ceremony is special in the fact that it's the only one where the king is actually present. And when the king is present, that's something everyone else tends to be drawn there. Like moths to a flame. You're going to be seeing a lot of people. And the thing is, the occasion is you. And you will be the center of attention. This is something that your father has wanted. And this is a ceremony that your father has done a lot to organize for. Because a part of this naming ceremony is a choice that you get to make. You are named the leader of the Silver Lions to lead the next 3 years of the academic house at Eira Bryn. But there's another thing you have to do, another tradition. It is tradition for the leader of a house, to name a retainer, their second, a close ally who has all of their interests at heart, and who can lead the house in a pinch. Someone who is battle tested, who has been with you, who you trust with your life. And that someone is someone you don't know exactly. You know him. You know him a little bit, but you haven't fought any battles together. You haven't... He looks nice. Rich family, but not a noble. Apparently he knows how to wield a spear, and he knows how to fight well, and when you met him, it was pleasant enough. Graham Alazon, who's going to be at the ceremony. Who's going to be your retainer in waiting until you name him right then and there. Big day tomorrow. Probably going to be a whole procession, and people are going to be waving at you, and oh gosh, are you going to have to do more unsolicited ad reads? What would mom do? Work. Probably. Your mom, the Lord of House Avonlea, the beacon of progress in this entire kingdom. Endless efforts, has done nothing but improve the lives of people. She's the one with the Aeon mark, not your dad. But naturally, you're going to be the one following in her footsteps, not because she has an Aeon mark, but because she's good. That night, you settle in.
She's about to leap into bed, and then thinks maybe I should check for more recording devices. And then we can see all clear, goes to bed.
No recording devices. Well, okay.
That would be massively bad.
That'd be very bad. Because no one would want to mess with an Aeon marked house. But having the blessings of one, having the sponsorship of one, it would do massive wonders for someone. You fall asleep eventually. And I'll have to ask, what is the most pertinent thing on Valora's mind as she falls asleep?
She's just excited, is all. I don't think there's a lot of stress. She's excited. She wanted to go to Eira Bryn last year. She's old enough. Is encouraged to wait because then the previous house leader would be graduating. She did, and she's glad to finally go.
Your eyes shoot open. Morning's here. It's the day. Quickly smooth out the dress, get everything ready.
Pull out of the saddlebag, there's no iron.
As you're getting everything ready, there's a knock on the door. Sven goes, "My lady, you ready?"
Oh, yeah, she opens up the door real quick and goes, "Do you think if I roll it rather than just shove it in the bag, it will not get as wrinkly?"
You know what? I don't know, my lady, but I think that might work.
Yeah, okay. Carefully, she rolls it on the bed.
You see one of the servants who was ready to help goes. Doesn't.
What?
I don't wish to argue with your methods.
No, you can say something.
We can just give you a bag where you can have it straightened.
That would make sense, actually. Too much sense. That would be great.
Oh, okay.
I mean, I was keeping it on with Phantom. I've been putting the carriage. That makes more sense.
You. They quickly fetch your bags. You see Vin is kind of like limping, but he has his leg all patched up. As as you're getting ready, packing all your bags, you see Ruja's already there, like sword on the side, gauntlet on her arm, just ready, the ever stalwart knight that she is. He goes, "All right, you ready?"
I think so.
Yes.
I know so. Well, once the dress, that would be really bad to go without, and yeah.
And you're all led into the to the wagon, and as everything is packed, you go find Phantom. As you go to the stable, you hear the sound of scrubbing. As you see two of the servants here, the employees at the academy, you see Phantom is on his back, with like his legs up, and they're both scrubbing him with like soap, and he's just enjoying it.
Jeez, so he's getting spoiled today.
We're almost done, my lady. Do you need to be done faster?
Oh, I think we're good. I mean we're early. You should be clean anyways.
And you see you see Phantom in response to, "Do you want us to be faster?" just gently nudges the bucket closer to them, and it just lays his head back. Eventually they get him all cleaned. His some of his scales that are scarred are now much more pronounced and just better. You see, he definitely feels good. And of course comes up to you and just gives you a little headbutt to the head.
She just rubs her hands along his neck. And goes, "Thanks. You know, do you guys get a lot of like wyverns and stuff through here?"
Well, this is a first, but we figured that a good scrub and some soap is a universal concept, and he seemed to enjoy it.
Yeah. Well, thanks. I know a lot of times people are pretty scared at first, so I'm glad he got to make some friends.
Oh, he was a gentleman. He made sure to hide the stinger away from us.
She does. That's good.
They bow politely towards you as you lead Phantom off towards his wagon.
Right.
Phantom gets into his part of the wagon. He's carried in a completely separate part. And you get into yours. And you begin to make your way towards destiny. Getting into the wagon, seeing the sun barely breaking the sky. You travel early. You have nothing but visages of thoughts of what might happen, what's going to happen. Oh gosh, are you gonna have to give a speech? This and that. Your father gave you an itinerary of like what's gonna happen. Like there's like 5 stages.
I might have not looked at it.
Exactly.
Start going through my stuff trying to look for if I actually took it with me.
Give me a d20.
Okay. Let's see. 14.
You search it through and like, oh gosh, there's a bunch of crumpled up paper. Okay, a bunch of this stuff was stuff you were like when you were scouting out the land, and you had to throw away some stuff. Oh gosh, it's one of these.
Straightening things.
Eventually, you find it, a little wet from snow. That got into your bag. You do make out like, okay, procession, come to this area, a ruby cushion, and then you kind of have to squint at a couple of things.
What does that even mean?
You see Rudra's just look. Rudra's just like leaned behind you and like looking.
You can't. His handwriting's horrible. It's not the snow. It's not the snow.
You're right. Just don't worry. I know what to do.
Then I can just throw this all out, right?
If you want.
She's not gonna throw it out the window, so she just puts it back.
Make that note to throw away later. And you travel. It's just being in the wagon. Being in the wagon with a heart that's too big for your chest right now. With a day that's too big ahead of you. The hours pass, and the sky grows red. As the sky grows red, you see ahead of you the walled city of Tokor, eventually crossing the border of Aurora, getting out of the cold and into the verdant greens. You eventually start changing your outfit to like better represent the change in temperature. Tokor in front of you, and you see the castle. That's where destiny lies. Rudra kind of like shoves like the like kind of like shoves the bag into your chest. Just goes, "You ready, kid?"
I think so.
Something that's undeniable is that sky is so clear right now, save for a few clouds. And you realize at this moment, oh, you haven't actually flown over to Kor yet. You haven't flown over the castle. You haven't flown over the heart. The supposed heart of the kingdom.
It's like, I think I should probably hurry. I have time to get dressed. I can go the rest of the way. The Phantom. She grabs the dress hanging up in the carriage.
Goes, "Oh yeah, you sure? Dad's not gonna get mad that you're not traveling with a knight by your side."
We're basically here. I mean, it's the capital.
Well, I'm gonna tell him I tried to stop you.
Oh yeah.
But you're a slippery one.
I mean, that look of yours almost makes me want to stop, so it's not a lie.
She smiles a little bit. How's that?
Perfect. And she like goes to jump out of the carriage, but like pretends like she's walking towards Rudra's side and then like slips around to escape her.
She makes this really half-hearted grasping motion. had nothing. As you slip around her, open up the wagon with Phantom in it, and you see he perks his head up like it's go time.
She grabs him out and tries to gingerly lay the dress across so that it won't get more wrinkled from the bag flattened, but also won't fall, and hops on. And his beer.
Shoots up into the air. As you shoot up into the air, up into this crimson red, this beautiful dawn. You soar up into the air, spiraling, maneuvering upwards, feeling the fresh wind of the special air, this charged air in your face, flying above the stone walls, flying above the ramparts with ballistas on them. You see the guards on top of them, kind of like look, and when they see you, when they see Valor, when they see the wyvern, they just kind of like tilt their head, like kind of bewildered at this. As you fly over the walls, over this says over the city, you see the dotted buildings, the small beats of people below you, people lighting the streets, people gathered for an occasion. You see as you fly overhead, as you are undoubtedly the thing that catches everyone's eye in the sky at the moment, as you are a figure of, gray and black amongst a sea of red.
She's gonna show off too. Is the thing.
What do you do to show off?
She has him spinning, turning, because I think actually, yeah, she would have strapped herself in well enough, so she's able to turn with him, but then realizes like, oh wait, the dress I laid across, and like reaches to grab it to try to hold it flat as she goes.
The dress flies off for a second. You do like this little diving motion with Phantom, like it's like a stunt, like those Blue Angel shows, and you just grab it, and you see you hear cheers from below.
She's like, okay, that kind of works out. She kind of says to Phantom, and she goes, okay, she'll have him go straight up, and then she'll like throw the dress on purpose, and then go to dive and catch it. This time, now that she's really showing off with it, it's a cool idea now.
Going up, throwing the dress downwards. You leap off of Phantom, diving downwards in a free fall for a moment, and then you are caught by Phantom as he sweeps beneath you.
And enjoy the rest of her flight and where she needs to go.
And as the flight continues, you see Phantom. He is disciplined, but he looks back to you. He wants to do something.
She says, Aksun, yes.
And what happens next? Lucia, as you exit your house wearing your dress, ready for the occasion, the first thing you see when you look into the sky, this beautiful red, a black figure spiraling into the air, and then wings spread out in full. And that is where we'll end today's session. Part 1.
Oh my god, I'm so hyped. I'm so hyped. Oh my god, that's so good.
Hey
It's
guys,
so good. I'm so hyped.
We did have to end it a little bit early, but this is just part 1 of episode 1. Join us again next Sunday. Same time, same place.
And no technical difficulties next
None.
time.
None.
None.
None of them.
Thank you all so much for our very first episode. We're still building up. We ran a little bit long, but it was such a fun time, and thank you all so much for being here. Please continue as we're establishing a lot of stuff. We're just doing a lot of establishing because we have a big story ahead of us.
We're gonna meet soon.
Soon.
Next time.
Next time on Songwoven. See you next time.
Thank you for coming.
Thank you.